Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole, and this is going to be a general reading for you for December 2025. And if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you. This is going to be a very powerful month of transformation. There's lots of energies going on. We've had the full moon December 4th, and on December 19th, we're going to be getting a new moon, as well as the comet 3-eye Atlas is going to be closest to the Earth. And if you haven't been following that, I'd really encourage you to look up the comet 3-eye Atlas. It's quite incredible what's going on in our solar system. And so December is going to be a period of deep inner work. And we're going to be asked to release some things that are no longer serving us, because we're moving into a year of higher consciousness. And so we're going to be looking at, in this reading, what is no longer serving you. And so you're going to be asked to release this. And so we'll look at that first of all. We're going to look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing, because in order to release what's no longer serving us, we have to do some healing from our childhood, our adolescence. And so that's what's going to happen when we do the shadow work in part 2. And then in part 3, we're going to ask for some guidance from the tarot in regards to this situation that you're sitting in. So before I came on, I pulled 2 cards for you. And the first card I pulled from the Return of Spirit was card Fearless. And so this card speaks about fear in particular. And, you know, fear is something that is natural. It's normal for human beings. It's part of our survival mechanism as humans, right? But oftentimes when we find that we get too much fear in our system, and we can really feel it, but it can take over us, and it paralyzes us. And so this is what's happening with you right now, excuse me, is that you have a lot of fear in your system, and it's preventing you from moving forward. And so this card is here for you, Aries, to say, you know, it's time to move forward. It's time to go for it. It's time to be fearless. And then the next card that I pulled for you from the Secrets of the Ancestors was the Monarch card. And it was fascinating how this card really supported your Fearless card. The Monarch card, and it says victorious at the bottom. It's like almost like a promise of, once you decide to move forward, once you decide to go for it. And it reminded me a lot of the Fool card in the tarot. It's just like, you know, you need to take that risk. You need to go forward and trust, you know, with that childlike innocence, that it's going to work out for you. And so this card is really calling you to take back your power. And it's saying, you know, move forward. Now is the time to move forward. So we're really, I mean, if it spoke about Aries, I couldn't have selected 2 cards that spoke more about your sign and how you are the ignition key and you're the leader of the signs, right? So let's see where this is going to take us. I want to look right now, go to the tarot and see, you know, where is it in your own life now that you're being asked to release something so that you can move forward. And usually, what I didn't mention is, usually when you get that much fear that's in your system, it's always because there is something important that you need to do. You know, it's your next step. And so let's look at what's Aries being asked to release that. Oh, that doesn't happen often. That's no longer serving them. We have the 5 of Cups that come in for you. What's coming up from your shadow that needs healing in relation to this 5 of Cups? 1 card for that. You get 2. So you have the 3 of Pentacles and the Empress card in reverse. You get your first major arcana card here. And those 2 cards are for your shadow. From your childhood, from your adolescence that needs healing in relation to what you're being asked to release. And what guidance does the tarot have for you in regards to this situation? 1 card for that, please. Yeah, okay. So you have the 10 of Wands, first of all, and then you have the 2 of Wands in reverse right after it. All right, so let's get a couple cards to clarify this Five of Cups for me. Couple cards, please, from the tarot. And one more. There we go. All right, so you have the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles and the Empress card. So I'm just going to ask for one card here. Should be enough to clarify. Oh, it said no, it's not enough. I'll decide when it's enough. All right, so you have the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups in reverse for you as clarifiers. And Eight of Pentacles first. And then the Ten of Wands. And the Two of Wands in reverse. One card. Again, it'll decide. Today it's deciding. One card would be good. All right, you have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So two knights here coming out in the reading. All right, so what's your situation here where you're being asked to be fearless and you know that you're supported? It's like, you know, like I said, that it's like a Fool energy where it's like, it's time now. So you start off with what you, what's no longer serving you. Well, the Five of Cups speaks about that individual that is focused on these three spilled cups and can't see that there's the three spilled cups, right? This deck, I wanted to say which one I was using. Yeah, it's called the Ehrenberg Tarot. And it takes a snapshot of the Rider-Waite deck. And so it's taken a snapshot of those three cups that you're focused on right now, Aries. And you're not looking at the two that are standing there. And the Three of Cups really talks about... the Five of Cups really talks about someone who is sitting in some real hopelessness. And I think there's something here that you need to release. And you know, and when I talked about earlier how we have to sit sometimes, I'm not sure if I did say it, but December is really a time where I know we're really, really busy, but we need to carve out some time. And so you're being asked to sit with that hopelessness that you're feeling. I know for me, December and even Christmas time for me was a real period of, and I say was because I've worked through it so many years now, where it was a period of where depression just seemed to kind of creep its way in. So you know, if any of you do celebrate Christmas or around the holidays that time, it can bring that up for a lot of us. I know for me it did. And so maybe that's what's happening with you this December, where you're just feeling like you're just not into anything. You're not into maybe into the festivities. You don't feel like seeing people, but you're just feeling really hopeless. And so it's time there's something here that you need to release. And I'm wondering if it is that hopelessness that you're sitting in. And believe it or not, that hopelessness that you're sitting in, I call it futility. It's really a flashback of what happened to you when you were younger. And I know you don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it, especially when, you know, I would be sitting in it, sitting on that couch and not being able to get off of it. I know what futility or hopelessness feels like. It feels like shit, and you can't do any, and you feel like you can't do anything about it. And you don't feel like doing anything about it because it's just that paralyzing, right? But you know, you have the Ace of Swords coming up afterwards, and that's so important, sitting right behind this Three of Cups, because I said that this is about your childhood. This is a flashback from your childhood, and we use depression as we don't know we're doing it, but our system will use it as a way of creating this screen for us, because we don't want to go to the emotion that sits behind depression. And the emotion that sits behind depression is the grief that we felt when we were young, when something happened to us, and when we felt this complete hopelessness around a situation that we experienced. And or it could be, you know, many experiences, and behind it is this sense of grief, and we need to grieve what happened to us when we were younger in order for us to pull ourselves out of that grief, that depression that we're sitting in. Because there's this Ace of Sword that's coming here, and this Ace of Sword represents our truth. It represents, I always call it the sword that's going to cut through all the bullshit. There's a real need for you to get to this truth of where this hopelessness came from. You know, hopelessness is all about why bother? There's no point in going on. And so where does that come from? And yeah, you can be thinking that right now that you're in a situation where you could sit here and go, but you don't understand, Carole. Like, I am in a situation that I can't get out of. But the truth is that you can get out of this because you're an adult now. When you were a child, the truth of the matter is you couldn't get out of it. So now you're sitting in a situation where you can get out of this, Aries. You can move yourself out of this. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles right behind it. And it's, you know, it's not surprising that you get this Queen. And the Queen, and this is the, you also have two Knights. We'll talk about the Knights in a minute. But the Queen is this feminine energy. And she's she represents, you know, all these feminine qualities that we have. Has nothing to do with gender. We all have feminine and masculine qualities. But this particular Queen is very, very grounded. She holds that grounding element, the pentacle. It's the element of our body. And she's holding it. She's very, very much in her body, very grounded. And so this is a real need for you to get grounded in that. By that I mean, you know, to really carve, like I said, some stillness out for yourself and to actually feel what's going on. Feel that depression that you're sitting in. And it feels like absolute shit. But you have to sit in it and feel it so you can finally get to that grief that's sitting behind it. And that's what you're asking to release right now. So let's look at your childhood and how whatever is coming up from your shadow that is pushing you to sit with your hopelessness that you're feeling this month. Well, you have the Three of Pentacles, and then you had the Empress that came right out to support it, to clarify it. So the first card is the Three of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. And the Three of Pentacles normally is a card about co-creation, about support. And it can mean, for me, because this is a healing channel, it can mean, you know, maybe going out and getting therapy and finally getting some help for whatever's coming up for you. But this is in your shadow, so this tells me that when you were younger, you didn't have the support. You didn't have anybody that you could go to and ask for help for whatever situation you were in. And so that's where that hopelessness comes from that you're sitting in right now, where you're feeling like, I don't have anybody around me that I can ask for help. You didn't when you were younger. But you can do it now. I mean, maybe you need to go and get some help right now. Maybe you need to go and get some support and ask for help. Or you just, you know, finally say, you know, I'm going to sit and carve out some time for myself, and I'm going to get to the truth of what's going on here. You know, what happened to me when I was younger, when I didn't have the support around me. And then you get the Empress card in reverse. The Empress talks about is a beautiful feminine. It's the second half of the feminine archetype in the major arcana, and she talks about this Empress. She talks about the beautiful feminine quality, and so you do have this as your second feminine card that's come out. And so it's a real reading of getting in touch with these feminine qualities that you have. The Empress talks about our emotions and feeling all of our emotions. She's in reverse. So when you were younger, you weren't allowed to feel your emotions. They weren't available to you. For some reason, you were told to put those away. And so you knew that you didn't have any support. You probably felt very much when you were younger that you didn't matter. If you are not allowed to feel your emotions, then you really feel like you don't matter. You really feel like you're not supported. And in particular, with all your emotions that were coming out for you around the situation that was going on when you were younger. You get the Eight of Pentacles that comes out next. And the Eight of Pentacles speaks about this individual that is very passionate about what they were doing. Very passionate about, he's been working all this time with his pentacles, and he loves what he's doing. I don't think you were in a place where you felt passionate about anything when you were younger. And if you did, well, it was put away in your shadow. You knew to put your passion away because you knew that what was going to come out was a lot of negativity around what you wanted to do. And so I think what's happening is right now is that you're being asked to be fearless right now, but you have all this fear in your system because you know when you were younger, when you took that next step, when you wanted to take that next step of, hey, this is what I want to do for myself, and you got really excited about what you wanted to do, well, you got this, people that are around you that didn't support you and really kind of told you to put that passion away. Like, who are you thinking, you're so passionate about this and wanting to do this? Like, who do you think you are? And so what's happening is right now, you're feeling that fear that's coming up when you're a child that, oh my God, when I want to do this right now, but I'm so afraid to do this, and you're feeling paralyzed because this is what happened when you were younger. You knew that you wouldn't be able to do this. And so that fear of what would happen if you get passionate and take that step forward for yourself, it's all coming up now. And that's why you have all this hopelessness around the situation. But guess what? You're not a child anymore. You're an adult. And things are different, but your own parts, your insides think that you're still a child when you're not. And then the last card is the Knight of Cups. This is still in your shadow. And the Knights on my deck are a part of you that wants freedom to be you, to be authentic. And you have this Ace of Swords right now that's coming out of you getting back to your truth, and that's what you're trying to do. And so when you were younger, this part of you that wanted to be you and wanted to have these emotions, be able to feel their emotions, well, it was put away. And this is like a teenage part of you. So I'm wondering, when you were a teenager, when you were still like, who do you think you are, and your passion of whatever you wanted to do. And maybe it was something you wanted to do when you were younger and you were told, I don't think so. Put that away. Who do you think you are? And so that sitting here right in your shadow is a last card. So I'm feeling that there was a lot of discouragement, negative energy maybe around when you were younger that just did not allow you to flourish and be the person that you wanted to be. And now when this is coming up again, it's like this is a huge flashback from your childhood, and you're being asked right now to go back and find out, okay, what happened when you were a child and an adolescent and you wanted to do something for yourself and take that next step for yourself? You need to sit with that and feel that child, that younger child of yours that wants to grieve, that just wants to grieve because of what happened to you when you were younger. You weren't allowed to. So what guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to the situation? Well, the tarot wants to acknowledge, first of all, here's this 10 of Wands right here. And you're at the end of the Wands cycle. And the Wands cycle talks about our moving towards our creative purpose. And this, look at, it's holding, it's almost like the universe wants to take that boulder that you've been carrying for so long, that grief that's been sitting there for so long because you weren't able to go towards your purpose. And maybe this is a step towards your purpose in 2026. The universe wants to take that heaviness off of your shoulders. And that's, you know, that grief that you've been carrying for so long as a child, not being able to do something, and the hopelessness. And the Two of Wands is right behind it. And the Two of Wands is in reverse here because it wants to turn it over for you. Once it takes that grief from you, once you sit with that hopelessness, and it opens up that grieving that you need to do will open up a huge path for you. It's like this is a little nudge, a new direction from you. And you're going to get this nudge. You're going to feel this nudge that's going to take you into a new direction. And then you've got this is a beautiful card for you to end with. You got another Knight. And here's that Knight right now. It's in reverse right here because there's a lot of hopelessness that you're feeling. But this Knight is the one that is going to pull you, right? It wants the freedom, and it has the wand. It wants to take you into that direction that you're meant to go with. It's almost like, this reminds me of this Monarch card that's sitting here that wants to pull you into that direction, right? That's saying it has your support. It has everything here for you. The support is here for you, but it's you that has to do the healing with what, you know, you felt, the hopelessness that you felt when you were younger. And so I'm going to leave with you. I think it's very important that I leave you with a playlist on depression, because there's some real good videos in there about how to journal from your hopelessness. And that is the only way that I get out of my own hopelessness, is to actually get to my computer and start journaling about how I feel and how hopeless I feel. And in those videos, I give you writing prompts that you can use to get yourself out of it. And so, Aries, I want you to have compassion for what you're working through. This is the most difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important one. So I want you to take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.